matter what, he was always happy.
Angel Usanga's 7-year-old brother Xavier was set to begin 2nd grade today. Instead, tonight, his family is planning his funeral. Xavier was killed yesterday in St. Louis, playing in his backyard with 2 sisters when gunfire erupted in broad daylight. The 2 girls unharmed, an 18-year-old male nearby critically wounded. 11 school-aged children have been killed this summer in the St. Louis area, the city with the nation's highest murder rate. St. Louis police say in most cases when children get killed, adults are the targets, and many don't cooperate with investigations.
I know people have information, and they're not coming forward, and it's shocking.
Alderman Brandon Bosley was Xavier's mentor. Why don't people help?
They are afraid because things are dangerous. We got guns everywhere. Everybody got guns, and big guns.
Bullets hit an ICE immigration enforcement office in San Antonio earlier this morning. Now, federal officials say it was a targeted attack on the building.
Mark, the shooting happened overnight at an ICE facility in San Antonio. Nobody was hit by gunfire, but officials say there were employees working at the time and they were narrowly missed. And several windows were broken. The FBI says the location of the gunshots is no accident. One person was detained for questioning but released, and while investigators review surveillance video, there is ongoing concern over the potential for future attacks, with ICE saying, quote, political rhetoric and misinformation that various politicians, media outlets, and activist groups recklessly disseminate to the American people regarding the ICE mission only serve to further encourage these violent acts.
We believe the drug would have been diluted with other agents, and Queensland health analysts advise the seizure had the potential to make between 6 to 12 million capsules. The higher purity of MDMA now available in Queensland may add to the harms and risk of overdose amongst ecstasy users who have become used to lower purity pills, particularly those who are used to taking multiple pills at a time to achieve the desired effect.
Normally a cause for celebration, Pakistan's Independence Day was marked by a heavier tone this year. The country's president used the occasion to criticise India for its recent actions in the contested Kashmir region.
If a war is imposed on us, it will not remain restricted to 2 countries. The entire region and the whole world will feel the repercussions. Even now, we are asking Indian rulers to be sensible and not take the situation to a level from where return is not possible.
Pakistan has asked the United Nations Security Council for an urgent meeting on Kashmir. Earlier this month, India stripped its part of the territory of its special status and later shut down communications in the Muslim-majority region in a bid to quell unrest.
Bow down to Booga, your Fortnite World Champion!
Just weeks after winning $3 million in the Fortnite World Cup, 16-year-old Kyle Giersdorf was playing the video game on a live stream when police pounded on his front door.
I got swatted.
Asking if he had been swatted, Giersdorf left his keyboard to find heavily armed officers in his suburban home in Pottsgrove, Pennsylvania.
You call EMS being dispatched for a shooting?
Giersdorf was in fact a swatting victim when someone places an emergency call hoping to mobilize a SWAT team to the home of an unsuspecting victim.
Caller said he just shot his father.
Police say the caller claimed he shot his father with an AK-47 and tied up his mother in the garage. Officers weren't taking chances.
With swatting calls on the rise, 2 years ago, a 28-year-old father was mistakenly shot and killed on his own porch after Wichita police unknowingly responded to a hoax.
Security has been stepped up at Hong Kong airport, with protesters denied access to certain areas. Restrictions were imposed following Tuesday's violence in which protesters attacked individuals. One of them turned out to be a journalist for mainland China's Global Times newspaper. In another incident, an overpowered police officer drew out his gun. The tension eventually died down during the night. China's Hong Kong Affairs Office condemned what it called near-terrorist acts at the airport. It reiterated support for local authorities to severely punish those responsible. Hong Kong police say they will bring all culprits to justice.
In the UK, a poll commissioned by a newspaper traditionally read by supporters of the governing Conservative Party has found that most Brits want Brexit delivered by any means. Let's go live to London now and RT's Paula's here for more. Paula, good to see you. Now, Prime Minister Johnson's vowed the UK will Brexit October 31st, come what may. This poll must be music to his ears.
Well, it certainly is. What we are hearing from the Daily Telegraph is that the majority of the population supports Brexit and at the same time is in favour of suspending Parliament. 54% of those polled, as opposed to 46%, want the Prime Minister by any means to deliver on Brexit. As you mentioned, it's worth pointing out that this paper is a Tory-leaning paper. Johnson, of course, is a hardliner when it comes to the whole issue of Brexit and has been pushing Parliament to deliver on its promises.
Do you really think the Clintons are involved in Jeffrey Epstein's death? I have no idea. I know he was on his plane 27 times, and he said he was on the plane 4 times. But when they checked the plane log, Bill Clinton, who is a very good friend of Epstein, he was on the plane about 27 or 28 times. So why did he say 4 times? And then the question you have to ask is, did Bill Clinton go to the island? Because Epstein had an island. That was not a good place as I understand it, and I was never there. So you have to ask, did Bill Clinton go to the island? That's the question. If you find that out, you're going to know a lot. Bill Barr wants to do an entire investigation of the whole Epstein matter. What happened? He's been going on for a long time. That's been going on for a long time. The whole Epstein episode.
When the alarm sounds at this orphanage in Johannesburg, it means a new baby has probably been dropped off.
Last night, around 8:30, the center went off, and then they looked at the camera screen only to find that there's a baby, and then they just went in front of the house and go get the baby.
The Door of Hope orphanage has 17 babies in its care. The organization built a baby box as a safe place for mothers to leave their babies. Over the last 2 decades, it's taken in more than 200 children. The National Adoption Coalition estimates 3,500 babies are abandoned in South Africa.
We have some breaking news to bring to you. The rapper ASAP Rocky has been found guilty of assault in Stockholm. The Swedish court says the victim in the case will be awarded damages. The rapper, whose real name is Rakim Myers, was accused of assaulting a teenager in the city in June. We can go now live to our correspondent Maddie Savage in Stockholm. Maddie, tell us more about this outcome.
Well, the judgment was handed out in paper copies to journalists, also sent to some of us by email. ASAP Rocky and 2 others who were on trial guilty of assault here in the Swedish capital at the end of June. The judgment confirmed that the court did believe that ASAP Rocky and the 2 others with him had kicked and punched the alleged victim, and pushed him to the ground.